I'm now an official streamer, I think, uh, because the amount of time I spend on streaming online, uh, teaching chess, playing chess, or doing this opening series at 2 o'clock, or the morning series where I teach the comedians. I'm spending so much time online. Yeah, I should be a streamer. Of course, I now have a mic, nice mic. I have a good laptop and all of that. And in fact, the thumbnail of today shows exactly the same. So, welcome to everyone. Meet the professional streamer Sagar Shah. Today is day 13th of our opening training. So, we are moving on. And the nice thing I like about this entire sessions that we are doing is we are being uncompromising in our approach. We are choosing the best lines, we are choosing the best openings. We are not trying to say, okay, e4 e5 is too complicated, Sicilian is too complicated, so let's go for some sideline or something like this. So we are going to play, we are going to go for main lines, and that's the point of this entire session. So welcome to everyone. I can see a few well-known names now who come every day, and it's really nice to see you. Nilansh, Aditya, Murugan, Mayur, Piyush, Jaideep, Nihilesh, Pawan, Pushpit, so many people, Neev Patel. Yeah, someone said for streaming, the streamers are the ones who stream games. Well, two things. First of all, not necessary. Anyone who goes live can be streamer. And second of all, chess is a game, yeah, after all. It's not like we are doing some kind of an educational thing. It's sports. Ilam Parthi, welcome to you. Also, Kaustub, Sure, Nagesh Shetty, Pranav, Hassan. So many people here. Good to see you guys. So today, what's the topic for today? The topic for today is that after white plays e4, you go e5. We want to first kick off this session with the move f4. And does anyone know what's the name of this move, f4? Mandar Bakshi says, won't be able to attend today, will catch up in the evening. Okay, Mandar, that's fine. I get a lot of message like what Wasim Mulani says just won a game with 96% accuracy, no blunders and so on. Feels good. I think general level of chess is growing in this lockdown. So that's nice to see. Exactly. King's Gambit is the name of this opening, and it was one of the most popular openings that was played all across. A lot of people used to play it. It was very exciting because you give this up a pawn, but you build up a strong center and you get a lot of things in return for that. Over the years, with computers coming in, the King's Gambit has always remained a topic of discussion, but not in a very positive light, but something like, has black refuted the King's Gambit? Can white still play King's Gambit? And all of these things. I think it's still a very much playable system, but it's not so simple. You should know a few things, because if your opponent is a strong player and plays King's Gambit, you can be caught off guard. Something what happened to Wesley So when he faced Adiban at Tata Steel. Wesley took, and then Adiban played bishop c4. Actually, Adiban played the King's Gambit against Wesley So and managed to get an advantage. Later on, the game ended in a draw. Okay. So e into f4 is what I recommend. There are other ways to play like d5, which is known as the Falkbeer counter gambit. But I would like to take And I think white has two main moves in this position. One is to put knight to f3, which is the main line, and the another one is to play bishop c4. Of course, a move like d4 does not inspire confidence because queen h4 really puts the king in a bothersome situation. You really don't want to play king e2. While knight f3 actually prevents queen h4, and bishop c4 means that if I give a check, the king can go to f1. That is the point. Okay. So after e into f4, let's say your opponent plays knight to f3. Now, what is the move that you think would be good here? Black to move. Yeah, this is known as the knight's king gambit. And if he goes bishop c4, you can say it's the bishop's king's gambit, like that way. So knight f3. What would you like to play here? There's so many possible moves. D5 says Anish. Prasad says G5. Yes. Ilam Parthi says D5, G5, G5, D5. Okay. Mainly G5 and D5. Knight C6 by Dharun. Yeah. This is not my recommendation here. So d5 is definitely a playable move here, and I think one of the most important lines that is played in this opening. And I think after ed5, we have several games at the highest level like knight f6, and then bishop c4, and here knight into d5, and we reach one of the main positions of this opening. And I think this is a very, very playable way to play the king's gambit. And for all those who would like to explore this, please do so. I think the main aim is that you should have some weapon against you which is well prepared, and I feel d5 is definitely the right approach. You are hitting in the center, you are developing your pieces. So actually it shouldn't be bad at all. Like you can check lines of c4 here, and you can also check bishop c4, and you can also check bishop b5, and it would lead to interesting positions. The move I recommend here is to play knight to e7, and it's not like I have played it myself or something like this, but I just feel like this move is very solid, very interesting. You also at some point want to break on d5, but if white goes e5, you want to play the knight to g6 and defend this pawn. Okay, so knight e7 is the move. I'm going to play a small video right now, and maybe we all can listen to it. Could be useful to learn a few things. So let me just get that thing. Let's put it this way. Let me this is the video I wanted to play. And how was your game today?
Actually, the game was quite not that. I felt the game was quite one-sided actually, because right after the opening, I got very comfortable position, and I just don't know what happened to him. Like he usually doesn't play like this. Somehow I just think he simply overlooked some tactical positions. That's all.
Siddhant Mohapatra, and he beat GM Timur Garev in the King's Gambit with the black pieces, and I had interviewed him at the end of the event. It was in Chennai Open.
Was this your highest win against GM, highest rated player?
No, I have already beaten Salgado Lopez, who was 2640 around in Dubai Open this year.
Right, so let's go over your game and try to see how you defeated a 2600 plus GM.
Yes, okay. Went for the King's Gambit, which was quite expected.
Did you expect this? Because he played it once already here, but he has been playing a lot of different stuff like Trompowsky and
Honestly, I just didn't know what to prepare. He has already played some knight a3, knight h3 also on the first
yes,
move.
A4 and
Yeah.
H4 also.
So I was basically okay. I was mostly hoping that he will go for King's Gambit because in this tournament he hasn't went for this line. So I was quite, actually I was quite in dilemma to play e5 or c5 because if I play c5 he'll go for the Wings Gambit.
Yes, sure.
So I thought King's Gambit is far better than Wings Gambit.
So, did you prepare against the King's
Actually,
Gambit?
I saw some setup. I didn't had much time to prepare, so I saw some games of backrot with black. So he goes for some knight e7 setup. So I thought if I could go for that setup, it will be quite good.
But why back row?
Because I think backrot plays quite solid chess, and he has quite good score against King's Gambit with black. So I was.
This is something that you guys should remember what he's saying, that check out the games of Etienne Bacro. He's a French GM, one of the strong solid French GMs, and he suggests to he saw that game before playing against Garev.
Was quite I'm following him a lot.
Okay.
So game went knight f3. This is the move. This is not that popular, but I think knight e7 is quite good. Black generally is trying to play d5 and knight g6, something like this. d5. So here is the actual plan. So I can go for knight e3 sometimes. Even if has to give the pawn, I'll get 2 bishops at least. So this was my plan. Even for bishop d3.
So this is all theory.
Yeah, this is all theory. He played queen e2. Here actually I was not sure about how to continue. White will slowly try to play c4 and d5 to just maintain and increase his space advantage on queen side. So I was initially thinking of bishop g4 or knight c6.
Yeah. Both of them putting pressure on d4.
On d4 square, which is the only weakness here White has. So I thought, okay, to just play knight c3, knight c6, so that in some variation also the bishop can go to f5. Actually, this move actually stops c4. So this was my plan.
c4 you go ndb4.
Yeah, he played c4, but he had this move. So now this bishop can go to f5 because White cannot save his light square bishop. Now he played this. Now already White, I think Black is quite fine here because the queen has no good retreats. If something like queen c3 or queen b3, I just go bishop f5 and then some c2 square, knight c2, at least I have something. He went queen e2, bishop f5. He took, I think already in this position Black is nearly winning because the White cannot simply untangle himself with the knight.
Very surprising.
Yeah, something like that, because in some variation if he removes knight, bishop c5 check is there. I'm actually threatening takes and bishop c5 check. I see no way to prevent it. Actually he went for this variation quite fast, so actually I was quite amazed and shocked also, like if I'm missing something in tactical position.
So knight d4 here would be met with bishop c5, yeah?
Yeah, knight d4, it will be either directly bishop c5 or also takes bishop c5. Both are quite fine. So he went for this, knight ft2. I took on here.
Now bishop d6, or did you?
Sorry, I think I made. Oh, sorry, this was the position. It was black. Here he played king h1. Sorry. To just stop takes on bishop c5, but here I think after bishop d6, the funny thing is White is simply losing some heavy materials. My threat is simply just to take on e4 and there is no way to prevent it. Went for knight ft2, bishop e4, bishop e4, knight e4, now f5, and just
and he just lost a piece.
Yeah, he just simply, okay, he found the best practical chance. Bishop rook e4, queen e4, but okay,
Okay, so he's a piece up. I mean, he has a queen for a rook and a piece, and he went on to win. So this is a video which I would like you to see. It's known as How to Bust the King's Gambit. IM Siddhant Mohapatra crushes Timur Garev. So please have a look at this whenever you get time, the complete video. But let's come back to our training. And the reason why I showed you this video was to just make you aware that even a strong GM like Garev, who was close to 2600, just got a losing position right out of the opening when the opponent was well prepared. So let's see this game a little more deeply so that you understand how to deal with it. So this is Garev versus Mohapatra. And Siddhant is a very strong IM from Odisha. And let's just paste it. So d4 was played in the game, and d5. This is how you must also play. By the way, a big shout out to Casey, who's contributed through super chat and says, good afternoon Sagar, missed watching morning session, so up today at 4:45 watching this. Thank you so much, Casey. Really grateful for your super chat. And yes, we missed you today in the morning session, but I think you can watch it again. Yeah. Is my voice low? I think my voice should be okay here. I don't think there should be any issue as such. If my voice is low, please let me know. Yeah, should be fine. So d5 was played, and now if your opponent goes for the move e5 in this position, then I would recommend the move knight to g6, and we will look at a game here. Knight g6, and if your opponent plays the move knight c3 in this position like Garev does, then my suggestion is, okay everyone, thank you so much, voice is fine, good to know. My suggestion is to take on e4, knight e4, and plonk the knight on d5. Okay, this is what Siddhant did, and he is defending his pawn here, also opening up his bishop. So if you go say c4 in this position, then already bishop b4 check is quite an uncomfortable move to deal with. Say king f2, I can go knight e3, and basically black is getting a lot of counterplay. Like you can think of some lines which are queen a4 check, knight c6, and you may think that d5 might create certain issues, but with the king so exposed and with the bishop here, I don't see how you can survive. I mean, there are so many ways in which black can get an advantage. Maybe knight g4 is the best one, and after king g1 you can play queen e7 with the idea of bishop c5 threatening a checkmate. So this does not work, direct c4. So bishop c4, or in the game bishop d3 was played. We can, I think bishop c4 is also played in this position, but let's look at bishop d3. And here maybe it's a good idea to just simply develop bishop e7 like Siddhant did, and after castles here to play also castles. If your opponent plays the move c4 here, then you can just jump in, bishop takes, pawn takes, and white will round up this pawn at some point, but he will be left with a bishop pair, his opponent will be left with a bishop pair, and I think that gives black good position. Okay, so now in the game, castles, queen e2 was played, and I think Siddhant played it well. He first developed his knight to c6, which is a good decision, and then his opponent went c4, and then he jumped to b4. The thing is, d4 is hanging, so therefore this is a better move. Now knight e3 possible, but then knight e3 would be met with bishop e3, fe3, queen e3 when white is doing quite well. So now knight b4, you can't move your bishop back because of knight into d4, so you play d5, and now take knight b4, queen e2, bishop f5. I think already black has a clear advantage. He's going to play rook e8. Even if your opponent plays the move a3, you can just go rook e8. If a b4, then you can just play bishop takes e4, and the queen cannot take this back because of bishop c5 check and winning the queen. So these are all the little tactics, and I think you get a good idea of how to play this system. My advice to all of you is check out the games of Etienne Bacrot. Here I'm going to make a database link and put it in the description for you as a homework, so you can check it after the class. Okay. Now in this position, knight e7, we were looking at d4, d5, and if your opponent plays the move e5. This is another game, and here I think there is a very nice one which I wanted to discuss with you. It's the game between Mario Lanzani and Vladimir Malanyuk. Does anyone in the crowd know which is the opening for which Malanyuk is very famous? Let me see if there is someone who is very, very well versed with chess. Malanyuk is a grandmaster. I don't know from which country, maybe Belarus? I'm not sure. But he's well known for one opening. And let's see if someone over here knows that opening, which one it is. Okay, so while you come back with the answer, I'm going to make some moves. Knight g6 is strong move. Mayur Gondalekar says must be Berlin since his name is same as Kramnik. Yeah, not Berlin. King's Gambit, no. Nimzo Indian, no. If you search Malanyuk's games, then you will find that he always kept playing one same opening to 1 d4 with black, and he came to be known as a Dutch defense expert, and yeah, no one knew about it. So well, Surya Madrekar knew. Okay, that's good. He's from Ukraine, says S. Murugan. Okay. Surya Madrekar, I'm impressed. You knew the answer already, which is fantastic. Or maybe you searched about it, but anyway, you are the only one who found it. Good job. Okay, so ng6, now h4 here, trying to push the knight away. If your opponent plays, say, something like bishop d3, you can already just develop, or you can think about striking in the center with c5. I think black has a great position either way. You can even just go bishop e7 followed by short castle. That seems good. c4 is another move in this position, and now you can take bishop c4, bishop e7, knight c3, castles, knight e2, and here knight to c6. I think the point is that if you can cling on to this pawn and at the same time have quite a free development, bishop can go to g4 or f5, then I don't see what the point is of this entire opening for white. Knight f4, bishop g4, and already black is clearly better. Okay. So knight g6, h4, and now black played the move bishop to g4. You know, h5 is also a pretty good move, stopping h pawn from coming forward, but bishop g4 is fine. Uh, Although I think I would recommend you to play h5, because after say bd3, you can just continue with the move c5. It's like playing aggressively, not giving white time. uh, Bishop g6, fg6, bishop f4, and now just developing knight. The bishop can come to f5 or g4, and it's just very comfortable position for black. So my suggestion is that if your opponent goes h4 in this position, just go h5, and then you are going to play c5, knight c6, bishop e7, and get a good position. Okay, bishop g4, h5, knight h4, and now bishop into f4, bishop h5, queen d3, and here white has some compensation, but the game is very interesting. Bishop g6, now he gave a check. I think queen b3 was a better move, but he gave a check, and then knight c6, queen into b7. White jumped ahead, black jumped ahead with take on d4, check. This reminds us of this line in the Karo Khan, knight b5, and now if you take with the queen, then I can just play queen d7 and get a good position. So you play queen c6 check first, and now queen d7 doesn't work because this is hanging on a8, so king e7, and now queen into b5 had to be played when after queen d7 black is just better, and he would maybe go on to win. But king e7 means bishop g5 was played, which is a mistake. Can you see why is bishop g5 a mistake? And you shouldn't tell me just one move, but you should tell me the entire variation here. Why do you think is bishop g5 a mistake? Knight h4 in that position was not working because of bishop into d1. d1 was hanging. So here what's the best move for black? It's a nice finish actually, this game. f6, ef6, king f7. Rima Singh, good job. Rima Singh. Anyone else who found the same thing? Kushal Chess, very good. Anish Godse, excellent. f6, ef, and now queen f7, king f7. If ef, bishop f6, by the way, then after gf, queen f6, I think king d7 just finishes off the game. You can't take on h8 because of check, and you lose the queen, and overall it's just losing. So he played e into f6, king f7, and then after fg7 came a nice move, black to play and win. What is the cleanest way to finish off the game? Yeah, Nihilesh already found this. Very good, Nihilesh. Also Pranav Jujare found it. The move is queen to e8 check, and that's winning for black, because once you take here it will still be a check, and then next move I will pick up this pawn. So that was the game. Malon Nuke playing with black, and improvement that I would recommend all of you is to play h5, and if your opponent plays bd3, then you break with c5 in this position, and get a good setup. Very good. Yeah. So that I think should cover up knight f3 move. Let's go to bishop c4 move. Okay. And to bishop c4, my recommendation here, let's see if I have anyone in the audience who can guess what my recommendation would be. Black to move here. What should black play? Karan Parikh, welcome to the show after many days. By the way, I have good news for all of you. On Monday, we will be learning the Rui Lopez Breyer system, and we will be joined by one of the biggest Breyer experts in the world. And once again, I want to ask you, who would that be? He's not from India. He's a grandmaster. He's a 2700. He was 2700 plus. I don't know his current rating, but he's one of the biggest experts of the Breyer in the world. So on Monday at 2 p.m., don't miss the class. Of course, you shouldn't miss it otherwise as well, but on Monday, definitely not. And you need to tell me who that person is. Queen h4, many of you suggest. I don't like queen h4 because after king f1, he will play knight f3 and push my queen again. And I don't want to get into that, but it's a playable one. Now d5 is definitely a good move here, as was played by Wesley So against Adiban, something like this. But I am also not very keen on suggesting this. My recommendation to all of you is knight to f6. I'm just developing a piece, so you can see that. Aha, Funny Verma, you are right, you got it. Aniket Narayan also, very good. Ilam Parthi as well. Wow, you guys are great knowledge. Kushal Chess, Murugan. So yes, Josephine Geeta as well. So I must then reveal his name. It is Amin Basim, top player from Africa, the only player ever in the history of chess to have crossed 2700 ELO from Africa, will be with us on Monday at 2 p.m. to show some of his best games in the Breyer from black side, and he will be showing his games against Anand, I think some other top players, and it is not to be missed, so don't miss it. Yeah, Bob Dunkley says John Shaw recommends knight c6, and I think he says knight c6 is a winning move or a clear refutation, but I'm not sure. I want to go knight f6 here in this position, and the main point is, if your opponent plays e5, then from such openings like e4, e5, that whenever opponent plays e5 and the bishop is on c4, there is a way in which you can take advantage. What is that move? Black to move here. Black to move. What should you play? Yeah, Nihilesh has the same question. After e5, what is to be done? What's the best move? Yeah, Anish Godse, you're absolutely right. d5 is the main move that I would like to recommend you in this position. And always when the opponent comes forward, you can punch him back, and this usually when this kind of fist fight takes place, black is the one who comes out on top because he wins a critical bishop while he has lost only the knight. So d5 is definitely an excellent move. Okay, so bishop c4 is met with knight f6, and the main move is knight c3. And now I recommend here the move c6. There is also a possibility to play bishop b4 here, which is again a good move, but I want to go c6. I'm preparing for d5 move here. And we have a very famous game in this position, which went bishop b3, d5, and now you must take, because if you play e5, then I can just play knight e4 with a winning position. I think this is clearly better. Your pawn up, everything is great. So ed, knight d5, and knight f3 was played in this game. And here black could have just played bishop e7, just normal chess. It seems pretty normal, but black took b into c3 and played his bishop to d6. Now, the game which I'm talking about here is what we are going to see, just so that it stays in your memory. So I'm going to put on my headphones and we are going to get into that game. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen. Yeah, this is the game that I was talking about. Can you guys guess who the two players are? Of course, not at all difficult. Not at all difficult. Can you guess who they are? Is my sound low here? Maybe this could be low. But I don't think so. Even this seems pretty okay. Let me not fiddle with the sound. So, who are the two players here? Well, shout out to Atharva. Thank you so much, Atharva, for being here. Who is the player with white and who is the player with black? I think you already know. Maybe you saw the names already, but I just want you to be awake and I want you to be talking to me. Yes, it's Alexander Morozevich against Vishy Anand, and this was shot once again by us, by Amruta and me, in the Tal Memorial in 2018. So it was like Tal Memorial Rapid had ended. Anand had won it ahead of everyone else. He had played beautiful chess. In fact, I guess you remember his great play against Grishchuk, where he sacrificed material and won. That was a brilliant game. And here now, Morozevich. The next day was the Blitz tournament, and I remember traveling to the event with Vishy Anand in the same bus, and it was great fun, talking to him. And here his opponent played the King's Gambit, and you can see how Anand plays, effortlessly. He took the pawn. He knows his systems. He knows his openings. Mayur Gondalekar, that game which you are talking about was with Andrekin, where Vishy smiles at the end. This is with Morozevich, and Morozevich is considered to be one of the most creative players in the world. But look at Vishy, he just castles his king, he develops his pieces, and it's not at all easy to beat Anand ever. He's always so solid. Knight d2 with the idea of coming to e4. That's his plan in this position. By the way, shout out to Abhay Singh for the super chat. Thank you, Abhay. For all those who can't see the board very clearly, well, just watch this and then later on we will check it on the normal board as well. So what's the best move here? Vishy is thinking for his moves. But I think he comes up with a nice move, Queen e7, just putting his queen on a good square. Offers a queen exchange. Kind of surprising, because that just gives up all the hopes for an advantage or playing for something. But white hopes to get his knight to e4 and then move this bishop from d6 and get his bishop to a3. That's the plan. Queen f6 is played here. And the game goes on, and eventually Vishy wins. I don't want to show the entire game. The time control is 5 plus 2, so we may spend a lot of time. But again, this is another homework for all of you guys. Please have a look at this video in your free time. It will be very useful for you. Okay, coming back to the game, bishop d6 was played here. Morozevich castled, black castled, and Morozevich played d4. Anand now continued with bishop g4, which is a nice move. Queen d3. We saw all of this. Knight d7, and now after knight d2, I think just knight f6 was a decent move, bringing your knight in. But Vishy played queen e7 here. Opponent played maybe knight e4 was just decent move, but I think he was afraid of bishop f5, so he went queen e4, not a good move. And after queen f6, Vishy already is a pawn up, has very good position, and he went on to win. The main point being knight c4 as played by played by Morozevich. Just rook a8, very strong move. And here seeing that the queen doesn't have good square to go to, because if you retreat back, bishop e2 is coming, which would be very strong. And so in this position, Morozevich sacrificed his queen with knight into d6, rook into e4, knight into e4, and then Vishy converted this without too many difficulties. So this was a pretty good game. So this is what I would like you to consider with black when your opponent plays pawn bishop c4 to play knight f6, and after knight c3 to go c6 with the idea of playing d5. Okay, there are several good games in this system. In fact, there is a game Ivanchuk versus Giri also in this position, and many times you will see that a lot of players have won with white, but it's not because of the opening. Bishop b3, d5, ed. I recommend here to take with the knight. It's more solid. Pawn takes is also equally good, but I want to take with the knight. And to knight f3, we can follow Vishy's footsteps and just take on c3. B takes c3, although d takes c3 has to be considered. No one really likes to break the castling, like takes, bd6, rook e1 check, rook e1, king d8, and once again black is doing okay here. You have to just be sure that knight g5 doesn't work because of check. Let's say king d2, and now just play rook to f8, knight f7, king c7, and the position is around equal. Okay. Okay, so that is about King's Gambit. I guess we covered up most of the things. So your homework is to check the Siddhant Mohapatra video, Vishy Anand video, and then look at games of Etienne Bacrot. I am recommending that to knight f3 you go knight e7, and to bishop c4 I'm recommending that you go knight f6, and then after knight c3 to play c6. This is what is my suggestion. At any point, if your opponent plays e5, you must keep in mind you have d5. So not to be afraid of anything of this sort. Okay. Yeah, just take, knight f3, takes, and bd6, and castle, and black is better. So King's Gambit is done, but we haven't ended the session yet. We have more things to cover. There are more sidelines before we go on to the main line. So my plan is today we cover up the major sidelines on move number 2. And then we go to Scotch or 4 knights, which is knight f3, knight c6, d4, or knight c3. Let's say if we play knight f6, then d4. Also kind of the Scotch game or the Scotch opening, but this is for tomorrow. Today's plan is King's Gambit, which we have covered, but also d4 move, and this you will find a lot of people playing online. And after ed4, queen d4, I play knight c6, queen e3. This is the system which is played quite a lot. I don't know what's it called. Does anyone know what is the name of this opening? I'm not so sure, but knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4, and I like how black continues to develop. It's not possible for white to play e5 here because of knight g4, queen e4, and here knight takes. And if you are planning to win material with this way, then you are not going to succeed, because even just bishop d6, pawn takes, castles gives black a clear advantage. Knight f3, knight e5. Look at white's development. It's just horrible. And black is next move coming up with rook e8, and he should be better. So let's go back. Instead of e5, if knight c3 was played, then you go bishop b4 once again, just developing. Bishop d2, castles, and here white long castles. And this is one of the tabias. I have already spoken about tabias, which is like main opening positions where a lot of possibilities, and this is the main tabia of this opening. Hardik Sharma says this is the center gambit. Okay, Funny Verma as well. Viraj Kokte also says this is the center gambit. So okay, this is known as the center gambit. Let me know what is the best move for black here. Black to move in this position. Can you tell me what is black's best move? And I'm going to show you one game in this opening, which is my favorite game by an Indian player. He's not a GM. He's not even an IM. His name is Vinay Kumar Matta. We're going to have a look at his game. We're going to see the Danish Gambit as well today. Yeah, rook e8, very good. All those who suggested the move rook e8 are very observant, because black doesn't have the center control, but what black has is lead in development, and hence a move like rook e8 putting pressure here is just the most ideal way to play. Rook e8 was played in the game, and now white has two moves here, main moves. One is white can play queen g3, which is possible, and the other one is bishop c4. Actually, I have seen bishop c4. I have played an online game where I took on c3, bishop c3, knight e4, but after queen f4 kind of landed up in some trouble, because f7 was hanging and somehow I had to bring my knight back. It was not the most pleasant position. So I recommend here not to take the pawn, but then what to play is the question, and my move is d6. There are many games that you can look at here after d6, but I think Karpov's game should be good enough. There is Romero Holmes versus Karpov, which went f3, and Karpov played the move here, knight a5, which is a pretty decent move, but also possible is knight to e5, attacking the bishop, and then after bishop b3 to play the move c6. When I like black's position a lot, black is just very active, can go b5, a5, so on. Also the knight could go jump to c4 after b5 is played. and that is pretty good. Why not d5, says the chat. I think d5 in this position, I mean, instead of rook e8, if you go d5, that's what you're suggesting, yeah? D5, then I think you have to contend with knight into d5 when this bishop is hanging, and so I wouldn't consider d5 here, but rook e8. And if queen g3, this was played in one of the games. Knight into e4, and let me see if I can pull up this game. Vinay Kumar Matta versus Farooq Amanotov versus Vinay Kumar Matta. Yeah, I have it with me. The beauty of this game is very nice. That's why I want to show you. It's not like a earth-shattering novelty or something. He took rook takes, and here Farooq Amanotov played bishop into he played bishop b4. No, he didn't play bishop b4. He played bishop f4. He could have played bishop b4, but then rook b4 and black is fine, better. So bishop f4, queen f6 was played, and now bishop, instead of bishop g5, which is a playable move, then you can just play queen e6 and get a fine position. He went knight h3 here. In this position, white played knight h3, d6, bishop d3, and now look what happens, knight d4. And Vinay Kumar Matta loves to play aggressive chess, so his point is, if you take, I'm going to play knight e2, and if you go king b1 here, which looks like a good move, I still go knight e2, and I get a good position. So bg5 was played, queen e6, c3, and now came queen into a2, good move. That pawn was hanging. C into d4 is kind of necessary, because if you take here, then knight e2 check is just losing the queen. If you take c into b4, then there are several ways to win. Maybe the easiest is to play bishop f5, and the attack becomes too strong to handle. There are threats like queen a1, king moves, and then maybe rook e2 check with the bishop controlling this diagonal. So cd4 was played, bishop f5 was possible, but here maybe it was much better to just take on d4. This would have given him a clear advantage. The main point being bishop h7, king h7, rook d4, queen a1, and you can later on just take this guy. So for example, king c2, bishop f5 check, king b3, bishop e6 check, king c2, and now queen a4 check, and the queen escapes. Well, it's just better for black. White king is going to get checkmated soon. Bishop f5 was played by Vinay Kumar Matta, and now bishop e3 was a mistake. Queen f3 was perhaps the best move, but bishop e3, rook a e8, knight f4, and now I want you to find the best move for black. What should black play here? It's a very nice move. I think it will bring a smile to your face. Yeah, Farooq is a 2600 plus GM. Black to move. What should black play here? Come on, guys. It's really nice if you can spot it. You could give a check on a1, but then king c2 is possible. There's one move which Vinay Kumar Matta makes, which simply is Very, very beautiful. Come on, guys. I am not feeling sleepy or anything. Focus, focus, focus. Rook e3 is suggested by people. No, rook e3 would not be so good, I guess. Because just fe3. Anish Godse, very good. Sumed Ramteke, very good. The right move is, well, if you play rook e3, then just fe3, and I don't see how you get compensation. But rook 8 e5, brilliant move. The plan is to give a check, and after you take, to give another check on c4, bishop takes, and queen b1 mate. You see, this way. It was tremendous move by, exactly. Rook d2 was played. Bishop d2 was forced. Now, actually, there was no way to stop this plan. So, he played rook d2 takes, rook d4, bishop f5, queen f5. And here he resigned because after king c2, you have queen into e1. The bishop is pinned, so cannot take the queen. So, that was a small thing about the center gambit, center counter gambit, or sorry, center gambit, yeah. Center counter is e4 d5, but you go e4 e5 d4, you take queen d4 is not a good move. I feel knight c6, then you develop quickly. He goes knight c3, you develop your bishop, then you castle, and then you play rook e8, bishop c4 is one move and queen g3 is another. If your opponent plays queen g3, you just take on e4 and rook e4. If he plays bishop c4 here, then I recommend here to just play d6. With a simple position, you can go bishop e6 later, and oops, not this way, bishop e6 later, and black is better. Yeah, brilliant move. Okay. So this was a great game by Vinay Kumar Matta. If you ever meet him, do tell him that you enjoyed this game a lot. Okay, so that covers this center counter gambit. What if your opponent plays the move c3 in such a position? I recommend taking the pawn. And now after bishop c4 is another move in this position. There are a couple of ways to play this, and I would say you need to decide whether you want to be ambitious or whether you want to be solid. Knight f6 looks like a decent move to play, because after knight c3, knight c6, you get a playable position here. I would recommend you to play the move bishop d6. I don't think it has been played in too many games, just a few lower rated games. But bishop d6 makes sense. I'm just going to play castle's next move, rook e8, and then later on improve the position of my bishop, like bishop e5, or put it back on f8 here, and that seems okay. So, or you can play, instead of knight f6, c into b2. Seems like very greedy. Bishop b2. Now white has two powerful bishops aiming at the king side. So it might be a good idea to kind of give back some material. Knight f6 is possible. If you are a bit too greedy, you don't want to give it back, and then you must focus what to do on e5. I think d5 looks pretty good. ef6, bishop b4 check, and now bishop c3, bishop into c3, knight into c3, d into c4, and black is doing fine. So this is one option to play. I think another option is to e5, instead of e5, instead of knight f6, you go d5 in this position. This is one more recommendation that I would like to give you. And then when white takes bishop d5, you play knight f6. Is this a blunder? Can anyone tell me if knight f6 move is a blunder? White to move? How can white win material, or does he win material? White to play. Instead of d into c3, queen e7 is better, says John M. Let's have a look at it in a bit. After this, let's have a look. Yeah, bishop f7. Is it a good move here? Bishop takes on f7. Because if I go king e7 trying to protect my queen, there is there is queen b3, and it's quite a bad position, to play. Bishop into f7, king into f7, and now queen into d8. And is black lost in this position? Can anyone tell me? No. Kajal Kumari says it's not a blunder. Kushal Chess comes up with the right move. Very good, guys. Bishop b4 check, and you win back the queen because the rook opens up towards the queen. You have to go back. And now after bishop d2, knight d2, rook e8, it seems like position is around equal. Black is doing fine, and this is perfectly legitimate way to play. Yeah, bishop c4, I would say either play cb2 or just play knight f6. I think if you play here knight into c3 instead of bishop c4, I recommend you to go knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, and now after knight f3 to play the move bd6, stopping e5 and just making way for castles, Yeah, I tried to analyze a bit more this position because bishop on d6 looks a little awkward. But every time it seemed like black was doing okay. Bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, and now I could even play g5, throwing caution to the winds, but we don't want to do that. Like knight into g5 creates problems. So bishop e7 in this position, breaking the pin, and it's just a better position for black. This pin is broken. I was also looking at moves like, instead of castles, bishop g5 directly when you castle to go knight d5. But still bishop e7, knight e7, queen e7 is just giving black a clear advantage. Castles, you can play d6, next move h6. And remember, you are a pawn up, so if you stabilize the position, it should be okay. What happens if after bd6, white goes knight b5? It's a possible move, but you can just give a check and then push the knight back. That's how it would work well. So the Danish Gambit, my recommendation is to take knight takes c3 and to play knight to c6. This is how I would play. I would put my knight on f6, and if the e5 pawn is a threat, I would play bd6, castles, and bring my rook to e8. That's what I would do. So d4, ed, c3. I think we've covered up quite a bit here. Knight c3, just knight c6. And if bishop c4, I think you have a couple of choices. One is to transpose back into the normal systems here with bishop d6, or you can just take on b2, bishop takes b2, and in order to catch up back in development, you give up one pawn out of the two, so you are still a pawn up. And after bishop d5, play knight f6, allow him to win a queen for a few moves, and then bishop b4 followed by taking the queen on d8. Yes, bishop d6 cramps the other bishop for some time, not always. You are looking at ways to play rook e8. The bishop is just solidifying your position. Here bishop is just making sure that e5 doesn't come up at any point. But apart from that, I will go castle, rook e8. Bishop could go to b4, could go to e5, could go to f8. And I think that is good flexibility in the position. So d4 is kind of covered. Let's now just focus a bit more on knight c3. That's the Vienna game. And here I recommend you to play knight to f6 so that we keep our structure of the opening intact. And then bishop c4, bishop c5. Knight into e4 is possible, but then queen h5, knight d6. I think those who follow this channel or follow ChessBase India would know that this is one of my favorite opening games from 62 most instructive games of chess by Irving Chernow. And I think the game is between Kupferstich, someone by the name Kupferstich. If you can just look it up, it is a great game. Yeah. So knight f6 is, I'm just trying to recollect if there's anything else, like let's say f4 here. Then I would recommend you to play a little more aggressively. Black to move. What would you play here? It's like King's Gambit, but he provoked your knight to come to f6 and then play this. But now black has a strong move. What is it? Try to find out. Black to move. Yeah, d5, very good. Just very active move, d5. And if you take ed here, then I'll take with the knight with a good position. And if you are going to play ed5, then I would take knight d5, fe5, knight c3, bc3, queen h4, and black is doing well because g3 will be met with queen e4 check. Rest of the moves don't really work, so that seems okay. Yeah. If e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, you mean the punker, not knight f6, d4, ed4, bishop c4. We will come to this in the Scotch Gambit tomorrow because it's one of the main moves in that position. And so instead of f4, bishop c4 is played quite a bit. But then, you can take this and play d5. These systems are pretty good. You have to just prepare a bit for this line, which is also seemingly, I think, equal. Bishop b3. I think Ali Reza Firouzja plays it a lot these days. Like you take. By the way, knight c6 would be just a mistake here because of knight b5. And white is having the upper hand. So you go bishop e7, queen e5, castles. And I think black has a great position. Knight c6 coming up. So you can try this. Or if you want to be less concrete and you want to play normally, then I would recommend bishop c5, d3 with the idea of f4 at some point, c6, f4, d5. And once again, black has kind of equalized this position. You can also go into the gambit mode and play castles here and get a good position. Okay, so I think that was all that I wanted to talk about today. The Vienna Gambit looks like the most interesting, like knight f6. F4 we have d5, which kind of goes okay. Bishop c4, I was considering bishop c5, and the fact that I haven't developed the knight allows me c6 d5 ideas in this position. And knight e4 also is perfectly playable. So is there any move that we did not cover? Just trying to understand. E4, e5. d4 we covered entirely, f4 we covered entirely, knight f3 is going to be covered tomorrow, knight c3, knight f6, f4, d5, there's nothing much more to cover than this, and bishop c4 would mean that bishop c5 can be played. Okay, let's play a game today. That's what everyone suggests. Okay, we will play a game. But let's try to see if we can use the Discord server for the game. Atul Dahale says the game you mentioned from 62 most instructive games is Kupferstich versus Anderson. Yes, that's the game. And I have written about that game. It's a beautiful game. I love it very much. It went, if I think I remember the full game. Somehow it's just at the tip of my tongue. Sorry, knight e4, queen h5, knight d6, bishop b3, knight c6, knight b5, g6, knight queen f3. How did it go? Yeah, knight here to f5, queen d5, knight h6, d4. It's not in the database also, yeah. So d6, bishop h6, bishop e6, and now I think you go queen f3. Yeah, queen f3. No, how did it go? Yeah, queen f3, bishop b3, bishop f8. I think bishop a4, bishop g7, rook g8, bishop f6, queen d7, queen d7, and then there was this move where black got knight into d4 here, so white went knight a3, which was not a great move. He should have played something else like long castle or something. Knight d4, queen h3, queen takes h3, knight takes h3, knight c2, knight c2, bishop c2, rook c1, bishop e4, rook c7, bishop g2, knight g5. You can't really take on h1 because of a mating attack here after rook e7. But if I'm not mistaken, this is exactly what happened, you know, like he took on f7 and then black played bd5, bd5, knight d6, king f8, and then he played bishop h6 here, threatening bishop g5, threatening bishop h6, and then he played this, check, king g8, rook g7, king f8. And now I think there was this brilliant moment in the game. Like, no, check, he repeated it once, then he played knight c8 here, and then he played bishop c6, and then he here took on a7. You can't go to e8 because of knight d6 and bg5, so king g8, and now it was white's turn to play. What should white play here? This was, I think, the most beautiful moment of the game. White to move. You know, you look at all these checks, rook g7, and you see like, okay, this is how it should end this game. And then you realize that actually it was what was played in the game was just so beautiful. Yeah, Atul, you are right, Atul. The famous Zugzwang happened. Well, maybe like something like not Zugzwang, but tying up your opponent completely. White to move. Yeah, knight e7 is a fine move, also winning. But try to be artistic in this position. Try to be very artistic. Yeah, Ilam Parthi is right. Very good. Ilam Parthi. Take bishop a8, And now came the move knight d6, covering f7, this bishop covering f8, and that, dear friends, is how the game ended. Because this king cannot move, so this rook cannot move. This bishop is free to move wherever it wants, but what white king will do is just come on dark squares into the position. Black can do nothing about it, and then he would either go knight e8, knight f6 mate, or knight e4, knight f6 mate, and that is really nice. This is the beauty of the position, and I really loved it. I think I fell in love with that book because of this game. This game remains my favorite game, although there are so many errors in this game, and I can't find it ever to have been played. I don't know if it was ever played, but I think this is a brilliant showcase of how the bishop and knight can work together to control all the squares. That's the beautiful. Yeah, everyone thinks it's wow. I'm happy. Maybe this becomes your favorite game. One of your favorite games. That would be very nice if that happens. Okay, what I'm going to do now is end this session. Yeah, it's there's one game. Yeah, Ray Robson versus Alan Rasmussen. I'm says who said this? Karthik Murugan. I'm just curious. Like I have seen this game, it seems, and there was some kind of a similar theme. Let me check. Robson versus Rasmussen. Yeah, let's see. Can I find that game? Yeah, let me just share my screen so that you all can also enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm searching Robson versus this. The book is 62 most instructive games of chess. Yeah, I just wanted to check if we can try out something here. Yeah, there is this game, Rasmussen Robson. Maybe this is the one, or there was something else. I don't know. Let's check. Okay, let's see what was there in this game. Okay, looks very interesting. Piece down, but similar concept. Yeah, nothing moves, and then he slowly brought his king in. Nothing was moving. Great. This is what live chess, I go for live streaming for this reason, that you guys can also teach me. Thank you so much for sharing this. Yeah, this was an interesting one. Okay, let me just check once and see if any one of you can. Let's try something. Okay, give me a second. So I am in this room. Hello? And I want to see if I can talk with someone. Hello, 1 second. Let me just fix my sound. How does it work? Headphones. Okay, let me go here to settings. Voice and video. Okay. Output device is default. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? I am trying to just test Kabir. I think Tech Curious. Can you hear me?
Voice and video.
Yes, I do. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Tech Curious. You need to switch off my video.
I need to switch off your video.
Yeah,
How
like
do I-
on YouTube. You should not play on YouTube. I think the
Okay.
voice was echoing. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
What's your name?
My name is Kaustubh Sure. You said my name during the stream.
Okay, Kaustubh, wonderful. So, guys, what we have done here is that we in this Discord group that we have here, and you can see it on your screen. There's a room called Live Chess, and whoever enters there can talk with me. And I think we'll be using this much more in future. And right now we have Kaustubh. Kaustubh, where do you live?
I live in Pune.
Pune. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you a rated player?
No. I have a very beginning rating. I'm at 900 or something.
900. And how did you get to know about all these streams of ChessBase India?
Obviously, Samai and
Samai.
Tanmay.
Okay, wonderful. So you are amongst those, but then these sessions would be very, very tough for you, yeah, like very technical and.
I think the session you were just conducting, I think it was too fast for me.
Yeah.
But it's just for me because I haven't played so many games like you play very fast like this because you know every move after move, but it's a little bit fast, but I still keep up with you.
Yeah, the idea is, in the morning session is much easier to play with people, like much easier sessions, and now in the afternoon it's a little bit more advanced. So I don't blame you that it's a little bit tough, but thanks for attending, thanks for coming in, and I would just like to try if I can talk to one more person on the stream today, and
Yeah.
then maybe so thanks a lot for talking.
But am I the only one to hear you right now, or nobody's here listening here, hearing this, or what?
I think everyone can hear me on the stream, so you can later on check it out on the
If
video.
we disconnect right now, so then what?
Yeah, you can just click on disconnect below, and then someone else will enter the room.
So thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so let's see who is next. Discord link is being put here by Nikhil, who is the mod, and we have Hardik now. Hardik, can you unmute yourself? Okay, can't unmute yourself? Maybe not. Setu Minocha is here. I guess. Hello, Setu Minocha. Are you there?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Sagar Shah.
How are you? And I know you from so many sessions. Can you switch off your video? YouTube video.
Yeah. Just switched it off.
Okay. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
You're good? Where do you live?
Yeah. Sorry?
Where do you live?
I'm from Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay. And did you enjoy today's session?
Thoroughly. I had sent a mail also that I really want to do e4, e5.
Okay, fantastic. So this is helping you.
Yeah.
And we actually saw some games of yours in previous sessions, like in improve your middle game, improve your end game. So basically, you are a pretty strong player, but your rating is around 1200, correct?
No, it's 1000.
1000, yeah. So, but you are very much stronger than that.
Uh, yeah, maybe.
Okay, so good talking to you. I think we. Do you have any question for me?
Um, so like, how do you remember so many openings? When I go through openings, I don't really remember the openings really well.
Yeah, the way to remember this stuff is actually to revise it first, to prepare it well, then to save it. Like, whenever I am working on something, like you see here, I have a database that is made. So in this position, in this you can see later on, there is already a database that I have created for the openings, and I will go over that thing again and again. So this one, Sagar's opening database. So whatever I want to teach you is already here. I also put in the theory, and then all of this is actually very easy for you guys to learn. Once you go over that over and over again, it becomes easier to check.
Yeah.
So my suggestion
So
is use ChessBase, use Mega Database to prepare. Do you already have that?
yeah,
Yeah, so use that to prepare, and then save it, and then revise it over and over again.
thank you. I still can't believe I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
Huge
it's
fan.
thank you so much for speaking, and I think we'll stay in touch more time. I just wanted to test how this Discord is working. It's also the first time for me. Seems like it's working well. Maybe we can play a game
Yeah,
sometime in future.
sure. I love it.
Okay. So maybe we can let one more person in after you leave.
Yeah,
Let's see if how.
yeah. So I should disconnect,
Yeah,
right?
disconnect there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Setu. Okay. Disco. What's the name? Disco. Sari Raat Sajna.
Yes,
Disco.
hello,
Sari Raat Sajna. What's your name?
yes, let me untangle my head.
Your sound is not clear. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, now your sound
Hello.
is okay.
Okay.
What's your name?
Sir, my name is Akash Padhya,
Akash
and
Upadhyay.
I am from Bengal. Yes, sir.
Okay, Akash, how are you?
Sir, I am good. I am a big fan, sir.
Thank you. Did you enjoy today's session?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I joined very lately because I was busy somewhere,
Okay.
but I enjoyed. Means I started watching it from the first 20 minutes, and then when I went live, I saw you are inviting everyone to Discord,
Mm-hmm.
so I joined here.
Fantastic. What's your rating?
On leeches, I am currently 1250, like
Okay.
that.
Okay. And so you are finding these sessions beneficial, you are
Yes, sir, very
improving?
much. Yes, sir, very much.
Okay, fantastic. Do you
And
attend also
sometimes
the
I
morning sessions?
no, sir. This is my first session.
Ah, really? First session?
Yes,
Fantastic.
sir.
Okay.
I was going through YouTube, then the algorithm put your video on my feed.
Okay. So now from
Yes, sir.
tomorrow you should also attend one at 8 a.m. because there you
Yes,
will
sir.
find even more useful stuff. This is a little bit advanced that we did today, but I guess it will be useful for you anyway.
So after this gets over, I'm gonna flex to my friends that I talked with you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's wonderful that you find this to be nice experience talking to me, uh,
Yes,
and
sir.
I hope that you will continue to
Yes,
come
yes, sir.
and watch the videos.
I used to play chess in my childhood, but I had a break, and
How,
last December I started playing chess again.
how old are you?
I'm 21, sir.
21. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you're still not quite young. Yeah, it's not like you said you were young, you were playing. So anytime you can come back, to chess.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, sir.
Okay, last person to join. You can click on disconnect.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you. And maybe we can have one last call. You can enter this live chat room, and we have Shrijan.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
Shrijan.
sir.
Hi.
Hello, Sagar, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I still can't believe I'm talking to you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai. So you are in the
Yes,
same
sir.
city as me.
Oh,
I also
yeah.
live in Mumbai.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So you follow ChessBase India regularly? Are you a chess player? Do you have a rating, or you just got interested in chess recently?
No, I play chess on chess.com and chess, but I don't have a FIDE rating.
You don't have a FIDE rating, but in the
No.
lockdown you started playing chess more.
No, like back in the seventh grade, I used to go for classes,
Uh-huh.
but in the lockdown, I got more interest because some of my friends got addicted to.
Fantastic. And you are learning a lot about it now.
Yes, yes. I'm following your afternoon sessions daily.
You oh, okay. So this two o'clock ones.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Because morning I have tuition, so I can't actually
but
attend the
you can
stream.
watch them later. They are quite long, but you can just look at the game analysis part, and those are also quite useful with Biswa and with Vaibhav and so on.
Yes, yes. It's actually because of you that I know the comedians, not vice versa.
Really, that's
Yes, sir.
you might be amongst the few people who would say that. But
Yes.
nice to know. Nice to know that I also made the comedians get some new fans. New people who know them.
Yes, yes.
Good, good. Shrijan, where do you live in Mumbai?
In Goregaon East. What about
Goregaon.
you?
Okay, I live in Ghatkopar near Vidya Vihar. So maybe someday you can come to ChessBase India office in Vidya Vihar and we can meet after the lockdown
Yes,
is
yes,
over.
I will. Yeah, many of my relatives stay in Ghatkopar.
Okay, great. So we will meet. We
Yes.
see you, and Shrijan, thank you, and talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye, sir.
So, guys, this is what we want to do with Discord. We want to create a place where we can talk with you and discuss certain things. Maybe I want to start a session where we can discuss chess improvement. What are the problems you are facing related to chess? And I think this would be a very ideal way to do it. This entire thing. So yeah, maybe there will be a special session for that. So my recommendation to all of you is click on the link that is in the description, or what Nikhil has just shared right now uh, in the chat, this Discord server. Join in and be a part of it. Be there, and on the days where we actually talk to each other, you can come to the live chess room and we can speak. That would be the most ideal thing to do. Harish Sharma, thank you so much for your super chat. He's asked how to join. Harish Kumar, sorry. You can just click on the link in the description called Discord, or it's in the chat, and just join in. Okay. uh, so thank you everyone. Yeah, and about the thumbnail, it is uh, just something where I wanted to show like how my desk is completely cluttered because of streaming. I have two webcams, I have a mic, I have two machines, there's a screen, there are so many earphones, and there are so many wires, and then there is this USB port, and I don't know, I mean, it's crazy how much you can do. But I think once you start doing something, the always the difficult part is to begin. So any of you who want to start streaming, who want to start doing something, just start today and invest in it. Try to invest time and energy into it, and who knows, someday you too would be able to meet so many people online. Like today I showed this game between Kupferstich and Anderson, and someone said to me, check the game between Robson and Rasmussen. That was a nice game, and I wouldn't have known it if it was not for you. So thank you. Everyone says the link in the description is dead. Okay, so I'm going to change it with the link that Nikhil is sharing, and then that would be ideal. So until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Bye bye.